Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. Today, we are joined by a special guest, Joseph. Joseph, how you doing today?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm doing good. God bless. It's a blessing to wake up. You feel me?
For sure, bro, for sure. So I like just jumping straight into it, bro. So can you like introduce yourself to the audience and kind of explain who you are and what you do?
Yeah. So my name is Joseph Mendez. Online, I'm Jojo to Swoop, and I inspire others through my story and through the journey I took through my fitness content. You feel me? I train others and I do it all. You feel me?
For sure. So you had an amazing transformation. Your content is centered around that, and you post a lot of videos about it. So I guess like, can you go into when that kind of started for you, like you starting your fitness journey and like changing your life, and how did that kind of evolve into social media as well?
Man. So overall, when I started, it started around my sophomore year of high school. Man, when I started trying to lose weight, when I started trying to actually get the weight off. And through, sophomore year, I was always trying to find a way to lose the weight. I never knew how to, so it was my own experience. It was my own like trial and error runs. It took forever until like senior year when I really got into it. And then
Mm-hmm.
in terms of posting content, my sister told me one day, 2023, that hey, you should make a page. And I was like, oh, really? And yeah, she helped me set it up. She helped me get it started, and ever since then, I've been trying to post it. And it wasn't until a couple months ago I started getting, you know, real into it, real, and I started popping off and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what really got me into it.
For sure. So, did you ever have the thought before your sister brought it up to kind of start posting content, or was it one of those things where maybe it was always in the back of your mind, and then your sister saying that is kind of like what ignited that kind of passion, I guess?
It was more her pushing me to post it because me personally, right? I'm more of like to myself. I'm not very out like trying to be out there too much. I wasn't at first, like I'd always try to be like, okay, I'm cool behind the scenes. You feel me? Cool behind the scenes. But for the most part, she pushed me into really trying to start posting and really trying to like get into it. And ever since then, it's been cool, man.
For sure. Awesome. So, when you started losing weight in your sophomore year and then you got more serious about it in your senior year, what was like that gap there that you were kind of struggling with? Like maybe someone listening right now could be going through a similar thing. What was like that struggle in those 2 years?
Oh man. Um, Honestly, I'd say it was mentally, man. Through
Mm,
my Me personally, I went through it, man. Mentally, it was just hard to get a rhythm. Mentally, it was hard to just get out of my own head when it came to losing weight because I'd always be in my own head. I'd always be judging myself. I'd always be doing, honestly, it wasn't a good place mentally. And through those 2 years, it took me learning to actually, learn to love myself and learn to actually put in the effort and actually take the time to learn the things in order to actually do it. And it wasn't until my senior year because that was when I actually went, you know what, screw this. I'm tired of feeling sorry. I'm tired of feeling bad for myself. I want to change. And that's when I took the step to actually, go online, looked everything up. I didn't know how to lose weight, so I just started eating less. I tried everything, bro. Like I tried keto and everything, and that's when it all started. So
hmm I kind of want to get your opinion on this. So you know how like some people online will say that, hating yourself sometimes can be a good thing because when you hate yourself or you hate the way you look or you hate the situation you're in, that's what like elicits like change, right? Do you think that there's like a healthy balance of that? Because some people will go too far on that end and it doesn't push them anywhere because they're constantly in your head, like you're saying, thinking about how much they don't like themselves. Do you think sometimes like self-love is a better motivator than that hatred towards yourself?
yeah, bro, because I believe like self love overall is gonna be the better motivator at the end of the day, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
hate is like motivation. It lasts so long until you lose that motivation, and then what do you
Yeah.
start with? Discipline. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So like, what I say personally is, I believe hate rots the heart. Hate's no good for the heart. Hate's never gonna be good for the heart. So it can only last so long until it becomes a problem, until it becomes something. Because I'm telling you, I ran off of hate for the longest time. Like I was bullied growing up. I went through shit growing up. And through that, I use that to motivate me to lose weight, to motivate me to work out. Like I hated myself. You feel me? Like I hated who I was. I hated the person I was. I hated the body I was in. And that only lasted so long. And I hurt a lot of people, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I wasn't a good person. I was toxic. Like you could tell my energy was just straight like nasty, nasty. And I think that's when it got to a point where it was too much. That self hate was way too much. So then I
Yeah.
learned to love myself, and overall, my attitude became better. Like everything became better. My mentality became better, and once I took out that hate in my heart for myself and for other people, like because I held grudges, right? I held grudges against those people, and there was still all that hate against, hating myself, hating them for the way they treated me, hating, just to feel like that, right? And it took me to learn to actually love myself and do it for me, not them, to actually start making this into a habit, making this into a disciplined thing. You feel me? And
Yeah.
it made it easy. You know?
So what advice would you give to someone maybe listening that kind of is going through that right now with the hatred towards others, the hatred towards themselves? How do you like develop more self-love?
You just gotta be more positive with yourself, man. You gotta realize that regardless of who's watching and regardless of who you're doing it for, at the end of the day, you're going to be stuck with you. It's going to always be you at the end of the day. No one else is gonna be there when you're sleeping alone. No one else is gonna be there when you sick. No one else is gonna be there when you. It's you versus you, bro. And the minute you think about that, the minute you think about, oh, no longer do I care about their opinions because who are they to tell me, right? It's like I
Yeah,
gotta pay my own bills, I gotta do my own things, I gotta protect myself. Who are they? Who's their opinion? You feel me? Like why does their opinion matter when they're not the ones doing all that for me? You know?
I see.
You you gotta just
Oh,
keep your head down and keep it pushing.
for sure. So in that process, like people will always speak about like forgiving the people that did wrong to you, even though like you might not say it to them, but you forgive them within your heart to kind of live with that peace. Is that something you had to do as well?
Yeah, man. It was like I would say forgive them, but at the same time they did treat you wrong, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to not like the person because of what they
Yes.
did, right? But the thing is, you don't have to dwell on it.
Mm.
You don't have to dwell on it. Like you don't have to constantly sit with that thought, like, I don't like this person because blah 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 blah. I don't like this person because blah blah blah. It's cool, like, bro, they did what they did, and if you don't mess with them, it's cool, man. But don't let the hate rot your heart. That's all I say, man. And I always preach that because it really does take a toll on you. Holding all that grudge, holding all that hate, holding all that resentment towards another person, towards another human being. And it truly, you know, is a blessing when you can finally realize, okay, I don't appreciate what they did, but there's no hate towards them, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, because I believe that everybody goes through something in their own way. And them taking it out on you is just their way of coping with it.
Exactly. They're projecting something that's wrong in their life.
Yeah, that's the way I see it now. So whenever somebody does something or something, I think back to those moments. I always think to myself, there must have been something they were going through as well, in order for them to treat me like that. And even if there wasn't, bro, my peace of thought is better than holding a grudge. You feel me? So it don't matter at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I think that's where the misconception comes where people think like in order to forgive someone, you have to like go back to the way things were. Like let's say it was someone super close with you and they did you wrong. Like you could forgive them within your heart, but not you don't have to chill with them, you don't have to see them. You just kind
Yeah,
of do that for yourself so you have that peace. I think that's where people get it wrong where they think like, "Oh, I need to forgive them and go back to the same spot." Cuz like if this person's doing you wrong or they want the worst for you, why would you like go on to forgive them and then go spend time with them again and just repeat that cycle again, right? It's better
yeah,
off just to like forgive them within your heart so you have that peace and then just move on from it.
exactly, bro. Exactly, bro. It's like you don't gotta hang out with the person. Just it's cool, man. Just all love here. You feel me?
For sure. So walk me through kind of like I guess like the transformation you went through like physically we see it. It's amazing, but what transformation did you go through like mentally, spiritually in all those ways like from before and after I guess like this journey you've been on?
Man, so growing up, like I said, man, growing up, I was always a big kid. So going into, just overall playing youth football and all that, I always justified being bigger because, football, everyone wants to be bigger in football, right? You just want to be able to
Mm-hmm.
hit somebody, want to be able to, pick somebody up type. And like, it was cool. I didn't like it at all when I was younger. Like it got to me because I used it as a coping mechanism. Eating was my coping mechanism. Anything happened, I'd eat. Anything sad, I'd eat. Anything good, I'd eat. Anything, I'd get mad, I'd eat. I'd eat. Anytime I was stressed, I'd eat. Like it was a repeated cycle that constantly throughout my life. And because I didn't know how to actually manage my emotions, manage my feelings, I just constantly eat. So going into high school, my freshman year, I'd do the same thing. And overall, it just got worse and worse and worse. And I believe mentally there, I was not in the right place, bro. I was always in my head, self conscious. I'd always be thinking, oh, I want to be like them. I want to be like this. I want to be like that. Like I didn't want to be myself. You feel me? And when I got into sophomore year, that's when I really wanted to start trying to like get into losing weight. And I developed some bad patterns, man. I developed, terrible habits I wish I didn't do. And at the end of the day, you know, it was a learning lesson, if that makes sense. And
Mm-hmm.
as I continued on, the more and more I continued with this process, the more and more I started falling in love with it. The more and more I started falling like, hey, this isn't just to lose weight. It's like I actually like to do this. This is fun to me, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't take until I lost a good amount of the weight to realize that. Sophomore through junior year, I was still in my head, bro. I was still resentment. I just wanted to get back at the ones who didn't treat me right when I was bigger. You feel me? Like the ones who didn't respect me, the ones who didn't, show me love when I was struggling. They weren't there when I was struggling. They just made it worse. And I never like to say like I hated it, but I did. You feel me? Like it was a terrible place mentally, and it was a terrible place, man. I was in my own head, and I struggled with it. And then senior year to junior year, or junior year to senior year, my fault. Um, I just became a toxic person because when I lost the weight, guess what was still there? That hate
Mm-hmm.
in my heart. So I went on this whole partying thing. I went about partying. I did this, that. I hurt people. Like I didn't care who I hurt. I was just like, man, I ain't care, bro. Like I did
Yeah.
not care because how are you gonna treat me the way you did? And when I can finally, say I'm confident at least a little bit, like you're not gonna come with the same energy. Nah, screw that. Screw you. I'm out here trying to be a menace. You feel me?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got into my senior year to my freshman year of college to where I was like, took the time to reflect and learn, right? Took the time to actually sit down, read, find God, and honestly, just it was truly life changing because it took a major injury because I did tear my knee again. I did gain the weight again, but this time I didn't focus on the negative. I tried to focus on all the positive. I tried to focus on like, okay, I'm stuck in this place right now. What can I do and what can I do? So I took the time to learn mentally and spiritually. Like, I'm a Christian, so I got really deeper into my religion. But then
Mm-hmm.
eventually I started developing that self love, like learning, like, okay, it's okay to feel like this. It's okay to not want to do this. It's okay to not want to be this, want to be that, right? It was I learned that at the end of the day, it's gonna be me versus me, right? And screw what other people think, man. As long as I love myself, that's all that matters. As long as I'm the one that, cares about what I do, that's all that matters. Like why am I gonna be mad at somebody for something they did so long ago and I don't know what they was going through, right?
Yeah.
I look at everything from two point of views now. Because
You had like a massive perspective change.
yeah, like it shifted from nah, you treated me shit because you're just a terrible person to be like, okay, bro, like we've all had our struggles and I understand. I'm not gonna disrespect you, right? Because we all bleed the same color at the end of the day now. You know?
Yeah.
We all bleed red, we all breathe the same air, so we're all the same people, man. So who am I to judge somebody for, projecting what they were going through? Because I did the same thing, you know?
Yeah,
And
and that's the thing is like a lot of people can relate to that, right? Like moments of weakness where, yeah, of course, if you've dealt with all these problems and these people attacking you, your like initial response once you feel better about yourself is like, oh, I'm gonna get back at them. And like it's kind of one of those things like where you didn't care about how I felt in those moments, so why should I care about how you feel? But it's kind of like you're saying, it's an endless void of that. Like you'll go down that rabbit hole forever trying to get back at people, even people that don't deserve it, just because in your mind you're like, oh, like they did me wrong, I need to do them wrong. But that leads you nowhere, right?
yeah, bro. It was it's just like it just makes you feel empty. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
you feel empty because it's no love in that. You feel me? Spreading hate's not it because you just feel empty, bro. There's no fulfillment to it. Sure, it
yeah,
feels good in the moment, like yeah, I showed them up. I showed them how they treated me. I showed them like crap. But at the end of the day, you really think about it and you sit down. Like as time goes on, you're like, damn, bro. Like I really wish I wasn't as much of a jerk as I was. I wish I would have treated them nicer, right? And like you got to think about it, like why would they want to be treated the way you were treated if you didn't like being treated like that? I
yeah.
can appreciate it, bro.
But
Like
that's the thing is like I don't think you would be the person you are today if you didn't do that. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like it sucks that it happened and like maybe you like have some regret about the way you went about things, but I don't think you'd be able to see fulfillment and see love and see self-love if you didn't go through that. It's kind of like something you just have to experience, you know what I mean?
yeah, bro. And like you're completely right. Like it if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be the man I am today. Like I
Exactly.
wouldn't be thinking with this mentality. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I wouldn't be posting the way I was posting. I like everything. I believe everything happens for a reason, and everything. The when I look back at it, it helped me develop this. This mentality to where I could see every perspective, where I could say, okay, life goes on. We all good, man. All love here. You feel me?
Yeah, I think like we speak a lot and you see a lot about it on the internet about being positive and like why it matters and why it makes your life better. But I also think like maybe some people would disagree with this, but I think like in those moments of negativity or in those moments where you're feeling down, you also learn a lot from that too. I don't think you could live a life like 100% positive your whole entire life and because then you don't have that perspective of the other side, right? I think you
Yeah.
need both to like become the person you're meant to be.
Yeah, man. And the way I say it is, you don't take L's in life. You don't take losses. L stands for lessons.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if you're gonna be down, if you're gonna be negative, take advantage of the moment because
Yeah,
that's the moment for you to learn. That's a moment for you to reevaluate, take a step back and say, "Whoa, what is happening here that I can improve or I can change?" Because at the end of the day, losses. Why take an L? And a loss you're just gonna sit and mope. A loss you're just gonna
yes.
sit and dwell on for no reason. You take a lesson, you're gonna learn from it, and it's always gonna be a learning experience. So then the next time you attempt the same thing, the next time something happens, you learned from the last one, and you're ready for this moment
Yeah.
overall. So that's the way I see it now, man. It's a lot easier like that mentally.
I agree with that. Like having that perspective, I always like to say that in moments of hard times or moments of like uncertainty or like I feel lost, whatever the case may be, I always say in those moments that God is testing me. And when you have that perspective, it just you feel more at peace and like you're able to sit in that problem much easier than someone that kind of just spirals down and be like, why is this happening to me? Like my life sucks, this, that.
Yeah, man. It's like God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. That's how I
Yeah,
always see it, right? And it's like you said, if you just think about the negative, it'll spiral down into this rabbit hole of always negative, always negative. Because what you project in your mind, what your subconscious thinks, I believe is what's gonna come out, what's gonna come towards you, what you're gonna attract. So if you're
yeah,
constantly thinking negative and seeing the negative, your life's just gonna keep going negative, bro. And in moments of hard times and moments of hardship, you gotta think of the positive. I would like I remember I tore my meniscus, tore my knee, boom, done, right? I was done for 3 months in crutches. I could have sat there and just cried, bro, because I went back straight to the place I was. I was big again. I wasn't moving. All my friends were gone. They were busy doing stuff. You feel me? And I was just sitting in my own thoughts, sitting in my own thoughts. But instead of just dwelling on it, bro, I learned from it.
Yeah.
And learning from it helped me realize like the mentality I needed, and I didn't let it get to me. If I just kept sitting there thinking negative, like, oh, why is this happening to me? Why this? Why that? Don't get it twisted. I had those thoughts, but real quick, I was like, nah, we can't think like that. How can I improve in this moment? I can't improve physically right now. I can't improve, I can't go on a run. I can't
Yeah.
do anything. I can't weightlift. I can't PR. So what am I going to do? I can read.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick up the Bible, read a couple pages. You feel me? Pick up a book, read a couple pages. You feel me? Start journaling, improve myself mentally. So when I was back here, ready, doing what I'm doing now, everything would be smooth. Everything would go great. Everything is just good, bro. And because I was thinking in that positive motion, like, oh, I can still read. Like my
Yeah.
eyes and hands still work. Like I'm still breathing. God's gift. I'm still breathing. I wake up every day with the breath, right?
Exactly.
I can improve myself regardless of the situation I'm in, regardless of if I'm injured, if I have no knee, if I'm bedridden for a couple months. I can still improve mentally and spiritually regardless. So that's what I did. And that's the perspective you got to take. Think of the positive always. If you think of the negative, 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 life's going to be negative. But if you think of the positive, life can only go up. Because once you hit rock bottom, bro, the only direction you can go is up. So,
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing, you came out of that situation a stronger person because it was like you were saying, you had every reason to like sit down all day and cry about your situation and dwell on it. But the fact that you were able to kind of shift your mind right away before that happened and be like, okay, what can I do? How can I still improve? That's what made you a stronger person, right? And I think like a lot of the times, like when everything's going good in your life, it is very like it's not humbling because you'll be like, okay, yeah, I can wake up, I can go to the gym, I could chase after my goals, everything, right? But it's in those moments where you shouldn't be doing those things. Those things are like very hard to do because of whatever circumstance you're going through, but yet you still do it. Those are the moments where you actually like develop and you get stronger. You know what I mean?
yeah, bro. It's really where you develop that grit, where you develop that
Yeah,
mentality to keep pushing regardless of the situation you're in, regardless of how you feel, regardless of all that. It's that grit. That's what you develop, man.
exactly. So I want to get into a bit of like your faith and stuff, right? Because you said you grew up Christian and then during this period of time you became I guess more devout and you started to believe more and started to dive deeper into it. So was it something that you kind of had on the back burner before and then you put it like first or like how did it work for you?
So I've always been involved in religion, right? And during high school, I would say I was a Christian, but I wasn't really like really into the religion, right? I still did all the things, and I'd be like, that's why I said I was a terrible person, like, right? That was the
Mhm.
moment in the day where I'd be like, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I wouldn't live like a Christian. I'd be, out partying, I'd be out doing all the stupid things I'd be doing, and it wasn't until my injury and stuff like that. It sucked because I know God did it for a reason. It took a hardship, a crazy hardship, for me to get back into the position I was beforehand, for me to actually turn to Him again. And that sucks that it took that, but I don't regret it because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, I started developing my religion, I started to learn to love, and I think that's where I came from. Because if I'm gonna live like that, I'm gonna live like Christ. You feel me?
Yes.
Then how does He live? He's not gonna be hating everybody. He's not gonna be treating everybody wrong. He's gonna be showing
Yeah.
love. He's gonna be treating everybody right. He's gonna be treating everybody with respect. He's gonna be treating everybody like this. And I believe diving deeper into my faith during this time period, it allowed me to grow it. It allowed me to be able to read up on it, allowed me to understand like how do I live like Christ? And it was on the back burner. I'm not even gonna lie, it was. I'd avoid it all, I'd be like, whatever, right, whatever. And then it just started with the small things when I started developing again. Right before eating, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna say a prayer again. And then it started developing into, okay, time to go to sleep. I'm gonna say a prayer before I go to sleep. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick up a Bible. I'm gonna start reading. And then from there, bro, I started like just diving deeper and deeper into it. I'm still developing it a little bit more, bro. But it's better than I was. It's way better than
Yeah.
alone.
It's
So
one of those it's one of those things that like you'll never be perfect at. Like we're not meant to be perfect at. So it's like you just have to constantly seek growth with it as like anything else. And going back to like why you kind of like dove deeper into it. I think that's like for most people. I think it's when you're at rock bottom that you're able to kind of hear God more and you're able to seek him out. You know what I mean? I think like as much as sometimes we feel bad. Like I always say to myself like, "Oh, I feel bad when like I start praying more because something bad's going on in my life, or I start trying to get closer to God when something bad's going on. But then when my life gets a little bit better, sometimes I slip up a bit. You know what I mean? And I
yeah.
think it's just in those moments you have more clarity. You know what I mean?
hmm I believe that, bro. I believe that. Like, you need that period of isolation in order to actually hear God. Because if you're constantly moving and you're constantly in your thoughts and you're constantly thinking this, that, this, that, this, that, you're never going to hear the voice in your head. But the minute you get isolated, the minute you're in a time of hardship, the minute you're alone with your own thoughts, is when you hear God's voice the most. And He'll tell
Yeah.
you what He wants you to do, He'll guide you. And that's honestly what I believe. You feel me?
I believe that too, bro. I think because of how busy life is for most people and like how much, you're scrolling on your phone. Every break you have, someone will scroll on their phone, right? And it's like you never have that time alone, that time to think and that time for like God to like implement ideas into your head, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's like super important just to have like downtime and quiet time just to like kind of go over everything in your life and then I think that's when God gives you the answers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. It's just it's the time of reflection that really takes that, man.
Yes.
Time of reflection.
For sure. So my next question for you, bro, is like based off of everything we've been talking about, like self-improvement in general, why do you think most people don't seek to improve their life or improve how they think or their relationship with God, whatever the case may be? And what advice would you give to someone that I guess is struggling to find ways to improve their life? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'd say more like they're scared to get started, right? Because they're scared of what other people are gonna say.
Mm,
Because they're scared of what their family members gonna say or what somebody's gonna say, like, oh, you started this whole self improvement, like, oh, Mr. Big Time, you think you better, you think you better, you think you better. Like, at the end of the day, bro, it's you versus you. They're not gonna be there paying your bills, they're not gonna be there running, they're not gonna be there with the problems you're gonna face if you don't improve your life, you know?
yeah.
I promise you, if you start struggling, do you think they're gonna be there? Probably not, right? If you start getting down on yourself, you think they're gonna be there? Probably not, right? So
Yeah.
why base your entire life on what they're saying when you could just start today and start developing? Because, bro, I'm telling you, I started posting content. I thought like, oh, everybody's gonna judge me. Everybody's gonna judge me. Nah, I don't care, bro. I'm like, I can post whatever. I could do whatever. At the end of the day, who cares what people say? You know,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
cares what they think? Who cares like if they laugh or if they say some crazy stuff? Because at the end of the day, bro, I believe that if they're focused on what you're doing more than they're focused on what they're doing, they got to reevaluate their life a little bit. You know,
Exactly.
because why you care so much about what I'm doing? You should worry about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, focus on what you need to improve, and I'll focus on what I need to improve, and we can live a happy life. We can be friends and all that, but if you just focus on what I'm doing, bro, let's check back in what you're doing. Like, come on now. So all I say with people like struggling with the same thing to get started on self improvement is just take the step. Honestly, all it takes is one step to start a marathon, right?
Yeah.
All it takes is one step to begin this whole process of changing your life. Because if I was just still sitting in that room, too scared to take the step, too scared to say anything, too scared to be myself, I wouldn't be here talking to you, bro, on some real stuff. So,
For
like,
sure.
that's what I say, man. Stop caring what people think and stop caring what others say. Because at the end of the day, bro, you're going to be the one doing what you want to do, not them doing what you want to do. You are going to be the one doing what you want to do. And that's honestly what I believe.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, bro. I think like the reality is that the people closest to you have this image in their head of who you are and who you should be and that version of you. So anytime you seek to like go off that path just a bit, like if it's, starting a business or if it's starting to go to the gym or starting to think differently, they'll immediately kind of shut you down because they're like, oh no, this is who you are and this is who you're meant to be the rest of your life. So I think if people just kind of have that perspective, like, oh, they just view me as this one thing, and that's why anytime I try to do anything different, they shut me down. And you realize that that's an insecurity within them because they don't have the, I guess, guts to like look at themselves in the mirror and be like, I need to change, I need to be something more than who I am right now. So they project that insecurity on you. They're like, no, you have to stay the same way because I've been the same way the past 20 years or whatever, you know?
Yeah, bro. It's them projecting that it's you doing what they're too scared to do.
Exactly.
You doing what they're too scared to take the step to do because they probably had the same thoughts like, oh, I want to improve myself too. But they didn't have the balls to go do it. They didn't have enough grit and enough discipline, enough motivation to say, okay, I'm going to get up today and I'm going to go to the gym. Or I'm going to get up today and I'm going to pick up this book. I'm going to get up today, start that business. I'm going to get up. Just anything that they're not doing and you're doing, they're always going to hold resentment because now they look like they're not taking the action. Now they look like they're behind. Now they look like they're below you. And they're not. We're all in the same place. Like I said, bro, everyone's equal. We all equal. But they see it as that because they're not doing what you're doing.
Yeah. So there's like envy there. And I also think these people that, maybe to someone listening right now that are worried about being judged by these people, I feel like, I don't know if you've dealt with this, but some people will like become envious of you because they see you keep pushing and you're not getting any results. But they're in their mind, they're like, oh, if I was in the same position as him, I would have quit a long time ago. But you still keep pushing. And like, they have internal respect for you, but they won't say that because who doesn't love seeing someone try and love seeing someone chase after their goals, right? But
Yeah.
they won't tell you that. They won't say that.
Yeah, they're always going in the back of their head, of course, there's always gonna be some sort of support, right? Obviously they have to be watching your stuff in order to actually see what's going on with your life. But
Yes.
it's the fact that you continue on and the fact that you continue going that they're like, dang, like what is he doing different that I can't do?
Yeah.
What is he doing that's stopping me from doing the same thing? And at the end of the day, as long as they see it and as long as they just, you can watch me. It don't matter. You can hate me, you can love me, but just you watching me at the end of the day, man.
For sure. I want to ask you, how do you feel that, like, based off your content and based off of like the story you have told on your social media, that people are inspired by you? Do you think the younger version of you would have ever expected to be in that position where people are inspired by what you do?
Nah, man. I didn't even think I was gonna lose the weight. I was in a position in my head where I'm like, dang, I'm gonna be stuck like this, right? Like I'm gonna be a big dude. I wasn't planning on it. My goal was like, at the end of the day, I was just like football, 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 football. I never thought in my ears like people would be watching me saying, I want to be like you. I want to do what you do. And like it's crazy to me when I get text saying like, bro, you motivated me to blah 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 blah, like lose the weight and change my life, like improve myself. Like I watched this video and I said, bro, today's the day. It brings joy to my heart, bro, because my younger self, if he saw somebody doing the same thing in the same position, bro, he would have probably said the same thing. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's truly heart touching to see people inspired and see younger people inspired by me as well. Because I wish I had somebody to show me that it is possible. I wish I had somebody to show me that you don't gotta struggle in silence. You can struggle. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to put yourself out there. It's okay to be vulnerable at times. You feel me? And like, I wish my younger self was able to see that. And I never, never in a million years pictured that I'd be doing that. I'd be in that position, being the dude that I would have looked up to. You know?
Exactly. It's like gone full circle.
Yeah,
Like
legit.
you're in that position, now you're in the other position, right?
Legit, man, legit. I'm no longer sitting in the viewing area. I'm the one presenting. I'm the one presenting.
Yeah,
It's crazy, man. It's cool.
exactly. My next question for you, bro, is what advice would you kind of give to people that maybe have seen some success in like any area of their life and they start to get complacent? How do you stop yourself from getting complacent for too long and like striving for more?
I see it as every day we wake up, it's another blessing. Every day we wake up, another breath. We wake up with more and more blessings. and God is giving us these blessings. So why not take advantage of the blessings? Why not look to improve every day in His name? Why not look to improve every day, trying to get better with every little thing we do? Because if we get complacent, that means we're just happy where we at. We're happy where we at, right? And it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay to be grateful. It's okay to understand that, you know, oh, I'm grateful for the life I live. I'm grateful for this and that. But bro, why not try to spread God's name? Why not try to show the glory of God with what you do, right? And what can you do? Just improve 1% every day, 1% every day. So if somebody asks you, how'd you do it, man? All glory to Him. All
Yeah.
glory to God, because He pushed me. He allowed me to wake up every day with another blessing, another day of let's get 1% better, you know? And we got to take advantage of that every single day. The minute we get complacent, bro, is the minute we're satisfied. And if you're satisfied, man, I don't know what to tell you. You must be in a great place then. You feel me?
Yeah. No, I agree, bro. And I think like you having that kind of perspective is so important. And like that's why other people listening should kind of develop that as well. Is that when you have the perspective of I'm doing this in God's name or I'm doing this for God, it's no longer selfish. Because when it's selfish, you're gonna give in to your emotions. When you feel tired, you're not gonna show up for yourself. When you feel lazy, you're not gonna do what you're supposed to do. But if you kind of put it in your head like I'm doing this for God's name, I'm doing this in God's name, that's when you'll actually show up every day, and like it no longer becomes a debate of, oh, I need motivation to do this. It's kind of like I'm just going to do it because this is what I'm meant to do, this is what I'm supposed to do.
It's His path. It's like why am I gonna stray away from His path? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, bro. It's one of those things. Every day we gotta wake up and represent Him. And
A
like
a- 100%.
you're every day on the grind, every day trying to hustle, every day trying to do. That's a great way to represent Him because it shows you have heart. It shows you have dedication. It shows you got the discipline to continue on with your dreams and what you want to achieve. You know?
Yeah, you're like showing it through your actions, not just speaking it, right? Because
Yeah,
that's where people, I feel like, and I agree, like the people that debate religion and debate God, and they'll be like, this person does this thing, but they say they believe in God. I think the best thing you can do is just live out God's way through your actions, right? Like try your
yeah,
best to do that on a daily basis. Obviously, you're going to slip up sometimes, but just always having that in your mind with like every action you do.
yeah. It's you gotta represent, bro. It's like as a Christian, who are we to represent poorly? You feel me? You can't claim Christian and then go out like get freaking plastered and just be a terrible person. You feel me? If
Yeah,
you're gonna be a Christian, you gotta live like Christ, because that's the whole point. You gotta live like Christ, and Christ lives with love, and lives every
exactly.
day trying to grow, lives every day trying to improve. You know.
For sure. So, Joseph, I have one last question for you. I ask this question to every single person that becomes a guest on the podcast, and that is, Joseph, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as somebody who never quit. Somebody who I want to be remembered as somebody great, man. Because at the end of the day, bro, every day I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to be good. I don't want to be average. I want to be great. And I want to be able to represent that to the fullest, bro. I want people to come through and when they see me, they're like, he was great. He did what he had to do. He was able to stick through it. He never quit. He never got tired. Even when times were rough, he never had the mentality that I'm gonna stop doing this. Because at the end of the day, bro, I want to be remembered as somebody who just had that grind, had that grit, never, never quit. And that's how I want to be remembered, man.
Amazing, man. And I think you show that through your content and how you're inspiring people on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's exactly the path you're going on. So it's been a great episode, bro. I thank you for coming on. Is there anything you want to like plug or shut out?
Um, Go ahead and check out my Instagram, Jojo Too Swole. Check out my TikTok, Jojo Too Swole. Everything's gonna be Jojo Too Swole. And yeah, man, thank you for the time. Thank you. Thank you for having me on here. Thank you for talking to me, speaking with me, man. It's a blessing to be on here and, hoping to continue to see your content as well, man.
For sure. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you taking the time today. If you could stay a little bit after we're done recording, I just want to ask you some questions. But to everyone listening, thank you for making it this far. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Spotify. And thank you guys for the continued support. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
rush a coal to a diamond, eyes forever shining. Your beauty alone inspire a nigga to rhyming.